Hi guys, it's the first video series about building this Jeep GK Rubicon out of China body based on SCX-10 original chassis. Okay, I will be documenting this build for me, maybe for some history, and I want to share my experience with this rig. Okay, what we have here. I will open this up and check this out. Okay, it's China JK body. I already done some job about it. I break some cage, fitted it inside, not completely, but well, it's functional, quite solid. I will show you more details on this body a little bit later. I will put this aside. Underneath of this body we have SCX-10 original chassis. Frame rails were cut, I believe maybe 10 millimeters or something like this. I made custom skid plate to accommodate transfer case. It's also stuff from China. On the front of the chassis we have stock SCX-10 transmission. Also it's mirrored, so you can see here the motor is on the opposite side. To mount this transmission I made some custom bracket also, and I also used SCX-10 servo mount. I chopped it a little bit to make it fit alright. As for axles, as you can see, we have stock axle on the rear of the chassis, and as for the front of the chassis, we have stock axle housing of SCX-10, but I installed SCX-10 kit version C-hubs and knuckles. It's almost plug and play install. You just need to chop some notches off out of the stock axle, then just put the C-hub on this one, just tighten the screw and it will be okay. I have stock dog bones installed here, so I will not using the turning angle of SCX-10 chassis, but it will be enough for this kind of rig. Also I have a custom link mount here front, custom planar bar mount on the axle and on the chassis. We'll be using stock front SCX-10 shocks. As for rear, I installed MST CFX 110 shocks. They, I believe, 80 millimeters. Perhaps in the future I will use some maybe shorter shocks, but we'll need to see. As for the drive shafts, rear one is also stock one from MST CFX 110. On the front I will be using either stock SCX-10 drive shafts, but they need to be chopped. I believe I will cover this in the next video. As for the layout, I believe EC will be mounted here up front before the motor. The battery will be mounted just above the transfer case. To to accommodate the battery, I will need to chop the body a little bit underneath. And as for, I haven't decided about the body mounts for now, but I believe I will use some kind of screws because magnets will not be enough to hold the body. I'm going to use this rig on our local trail course, and it has a lot of downhills, side hills, so hard body mounted just on magnets will not hold if we have the truck flipped around maybe. Yeah, as for links, I installed stock front links out of RTR SCX 10 Honcha, first gen, just for mockup. Later on I will use maybe a solid rod to make custom links, yeah. Rear links are Traxxas bow ends and M4 all thread. Later on also I maybe use some brake line to cover this thread, or maybe just use solid 4mm rod to fabricate the final and finished links. Okay, I believe it's enough for the chassis. Yeah, I didn't mention the servo will be located right here. It will be some kind of power HD servo. And as for electronics, we have brushless 550 motor, non-censored. I will use side winder for ESC, and as this truck is going to have a lot of trail time in the water, or maybe under the water sometimes, sensorless setup will be the most suitable. Because if I used, let's say, brushed, for example, it will be more smooth, but it will stall under the water. I already tested this stuff. Some of you maybe noted that I have 32-pinch spur and pinion setup. It's out of Traxxas. So I also have a Traxxas slipper installed because stock SCX slipper, well, it glues in the water and don't work as it should. Okay, I will show you more details on the body of this rig. Okay, it was, as I already mentioned, stock Rubicon body from China. You can buy it anywhere, eBay, AliExpress, whatever you like. Okay, what I did, I chopped the front of the body off, so left only this part. Also I chopped the rear part of the body, so I left only these two pieces to be able to maybe screw the body to the chassis. Okay, I also brazed some roll cage, but it's my first time brazing. I used map gas, brake line, and I believe you call this bronze brazing, because I used like some kind of bronze wire, yeah, to act as a filler. This body will be with the doors, without the rear window, I believe, or maybe I will install it later, and just put doors aside for now, because without them it's just easy to work with the body. I'm not planning chopping the hood off, but maybe later on I will do it. As for inside of the body, okay, I took off the central console, as you see. It's somewhere in the part B. To accommodate the battery and to position the body over the chassis as I would like it to be, I'm planning to chop these parts off with some channel maybe, so the battery fits just under the seats. And the sensor console, the stock one, also will be a little bit trimmed, and it will, when the body is mounted, you won't see the battery on the body and from the inside of the truck. Also, I just glued some, let's say, side panels here, so kind of wheel wells maybe. So when the truck is complete, you don't see the stuff inside it. After, well, as you see, there is some chopped area in this body, because before this project I used the body on different chassis, and the battery was installed between the frame rails, and I needed to chop this off to fit it completely to Trias battery. On this build I will be using Trias battery because Trias will be too much and too fast for this rig. As for headlights, I will be using some high power diodes. I need to fabricate the holder for them, because stock ones don't completely fit the plastic, and these diodes they become quite hot when operated, so I will need to fabricate some kind of radiator or stuff like this. That is why for now I removed the stock headlight holder, stock grill under it. I will be back to this stuff after the body mount will be fabricated, yeah. Maybe in the future this rig will have some kind of servo winch. I haven't decided yet whether I need it or not. As for bumpers, front bumper, I believe will be made out of brake line. Also, I will brace it, I believe. Rear bumper, I will show you. I have one. Just a second. I have this one as a rear bumper from previous chases, let's say. Well, it looks something like this. I believe I will be chopping this a little bit to make it more narrow, or maybe I will fabricate something else maybe. This is made out of brake line, also braced together using gas. And here from the sides is just solid rod inside it. So I put inside some small piece of solid rod, bent, and chopped the excess from the bumper. So I believe it's enough for the first video. I will be filming all the progress on this truck, and I plan to finish it maybe in 2 months, I believe. By finishing it, I mean to make a roller that can be used on trails. It will not be the comp rig, that is why I cannot classify it like class 0, class 1, class 2. I believe it will be something like maybe a class 1 truck if I use some small tires, and maybe Now it can be like class 2 because it has 108 millimeters spoiler tires. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, any suggestions, maybe questions, you can use comments to leave me feedback. I will answer all the comments, I believe. Stay tuned. Bye.